What is going on YouTube? Ross's Reef bringing you an update of the Nuvo Fusion 20-gallon reef tank. It's been about a week, I'd say, since I did my last update. That was about a 5-month update, guys. Can't believe it's already been 5 months. I'm just going to do a quick overview of some of the coral growth that I've noticed and health of the fish and everything like that. All the fish are doing really good in here. As you can see, they're all swimming around. I got the little pygmy angel I got about a week ago, 2 weeks ago. He seems to be doing great. Not a spot of ick or anything on him. Got the clownfish who's been in here a while, 6-line wrasse. We have the canary blenny. Between the 6-line canary blenny, the pygmy angel now, and the clownfish, when food dumps into the tank, guys, these guys go crazy. Watch, I'm going to show y'all real quick. Like, they all know that's where the food comes, and they tear it up. There's not even, like, hardly any that escapes out of there. I actually have to watch that because I have the cardinal over here, I have the watchman goby, and then I have that firefish still. Even y'all don't see him that much. He kind of hides nowadays. He does chill in the back of the tank more so. Don't even see him right now. He was just out a little while ago, but I do have to watch all the other fish in here to make sure that they are getting food. So I do supplement about every other day with some meaty food, some frozen. I use Rod's Reef fish food, the frozen stuff. I really like that stuff. It seems to really work. All the fish enjoy it. What else we got? Notice some good growth coming out of my corals, guys. Let's start off with like this acan right here. Y'all can't really see it, to be honest, but on the top part of that, like if I were to look down, they've got 2 or 3 new acan heads growing. They're really small right now, but they're growing. And then I think I even have like 1 or 2 more on the bottom of here growing. So I'm really ecstatic about that. Let's take a look at this Duncan, guys. Y'all remember this thing? Look at the heads. More heads coming out. They were growing really small earlier, but now they've pretty much probably doubled in size since the last video y'all saw. We have, it looks like 3 heads coming out of that Duncan. I'm really happy about that. I like that coral a lot. This Hollywood Stunner Chalice, guys, I don't know if it's just me, but it seems like out of nowhere this thing like got bigger. Like this little swoop just came up out of nowhere, and it's just looking good. The coloration on it is really good, and it just seems to be doing really healthy. All the green star polyps down here, you know, just encrusting more and more every day, I believe. Started out with really small amount, guys, when I first got that. Take a look at this. I'm gonna have to do something with this pulsing zinnia over here, guys, because this stuff's starting to get a little out of control. You know, I heard people when I first started, they're like, man, I don't know if you want that. That stuff can really go pretty crazy in your tank. And I was like, nah, I'll keep it on a rock and everything, and it'll be good. Well, that worked for about the first few months when I had a small piece, and then now it's completely just taking over this rock in every way possible. Like, this thing is just completely covering. It's really beautiful. It gets excellent water movement right here, and you know, it doesn't need much light. I've seen these things and live in people's tank almost completely dark. They don't need much light at all. So, but check this out. I know y'all saw that piece growing on that crab shell, which is actually a lot now. It's pretty big. Look at this. A piece of it popped up on my green star polyp rock. I'm gonna have to take that off. I'm gonna have to watch that stuff because it does look like now it's shooting off pieces now that it is outgrowing its rock. So what I'm gonna end up doing, I found one of my pet stores who's willing to give me like a tiny bit of, you know, in-store credit. You know, they're cheap corals, guys. This is probably one of the easiest, fastest, cheap growing coral you can possibly get. I think they said they give me like $5 for a tiny little frag of it, so I don't care. I just kind of almost need it out of my tank, and at the same time, I guess I can be making a tiny bit of money for it. Let's talk about these Leonardo Zoanthids right here. Man, these things, I'm really happy. Before, when I first got them, they were kind of on like a little rock that was kind of sticking out. So for the longest time, you know, I only had Zoanthids basically growing downward on the rock, you know, and it wasn't actually spreading out. But now that, you know, it has reached down out off of that first little piece of rock, it actually really shot off. I mean, I remember I think I had like 4 or 5 when I first started, and I can't even count how many. Let's see, we have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I think that's tripled, I think, in the amount since I've gotten it. And then these eagle eyes zoanthids over here, always looking good. They actually kind of closed a tiny bit. You know, one of these shrimps probably came over here and stepped on them. But at nighttime, guys, all these Zoanthids look amazing under the blue light. The rostas are actually doing good. I was a little worried for a while, guys, because they were kind of closing up all the time, and they weren't looking too hot anymore. And I was like, dude, I think they might not make it. And I actually was worried I was going to lose one, but, you know, I started out with 2 of these rostas right now, and I've got, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. Looks like 9 individual polyps. Some are small. I'm wanting it to kind of shoot off a little bit more down here and out there. Once it gets to about 11, I'm going to attempt to frag a single one and stick it on a disc and try to grow it out on there. And, you know, if I could sell just one of those, that would be a pretty nice little payday if I could get them to grow out on a rock. These things are, for some reason, they're really expensive. I didn't actually buy mine. I got them in a trade. They run anywhere from about, I've seen $20 to $30 a polyp minimum, all the way up to like 50 to 60. So it all depends on what you want to trail. I mean, I know the my pet store has some little frag disc, and trust me, they're much smaller than mine right here. Selling them for like, I think, $200 for 6 of them or 5 of them. So, I mean, I've almost got double of that on this thing right now. So that you can tell they cost a good amount. So really happy about that. This orange plate coral up here, guys, this thing's really branching out faster than any of the other plates I have in here. This was the last one to get added, but it's actually growing the fastest. It's probably doubled, if not tripled, in the amount of, you know, space that it's taken up since I got it. Those 3 individual, let's see if we can get a view over here. You see, if the clownfish would get out of the way, it's got like 3 or 4 like individual layers. That'll look really, really cool, I'm thinking. Once it really grows, you know, it'll kind of just take off and shoot out that way. I'm really hoping this tank fills. That's going to be my goal. I haven't bought any new coral or anything in a while. They do have a frag show actually coming up where I'm in my area come March 5th. So I will be going to that, and I'm probably going to, you know, get some coral there. I haven't bought any because I really want to kind of save up and be able to get the coral from there. You know, at those frag show, guys, you can get coral that aren't just found at your local pet stores every day. You know, people bringing in good stuff. A lot of like online vendors come to these things and display. So can't wait for that. Really excited to be able to get some, hopefully some new Zoanthids. I really want to kind of fill up this rock with some Zoas and maybe a couple other different types of corals if I see, you know. But this tank is really filling out, and that's what I want. I want this tank to just be completely full. So stuff is growing, stuff is taking off. Really happy about that. I mean, just look at these little hammers. I know when I first got them, I was like, I hate these things because they were so small, but they've actually doubled in size since I got them. So, you know, I'm glad I kept them in here and everything. The little flower pot coral seems to be doing good over here. Frog spawn, just everything seems to be going good. Guys, I did tell y'all, you know, how I switched to B-Ionic. I will be staying with B-Ionic. I have decided I like it. It keeps my levels up. I think right now I'm dosing 25 mils of calcium a day and then around 20 alkalinity. I don't have magnesium B-Ionic yet. I haven't bought one. I'm still using the leftover bulk reef supply, but I can only imagine it's going to be less than what I'm dosing now. I think I'm dosing like 10-15 mils of bulk resupply, and I know B-Ionics is going to be much more concentrated. I just like how it's concentrated. I do, however, you know, the only reason I'm saying I'm switching is because I have a doser now. If I didn't have a doser, I would probably be sticking with bulk resupply, but due to the fact that I can dose individual mils now very easily, I would switch to B-Ionic. If you have access to a doser or something, it's very easy to do. With the bulk resupply, it's a little bit more bulk, you know, that you have to dose. Like compared to my calcium at 25 mils now with B-Ionic, I was dosing over 100 per day. So you can see how the difference is in comparison to concentration rates. But like I said, if you don't have a doser, I'd probably go with bulk resupply. It's just, you know, not as precise unless you have like a bunch of syringes and stuff that you can do. But other than that, really happy with B-Ionic. I'm seeing some good growth out of these corals. Everything stays open. I haven't had any that that much calcification either so far, from what I can tell on my pumps and stuff. Like I used to have on this thing, I used to have to dunk it in almost every week to break off some calcium and stuff like that, and then the spin streams would have calcium buildup on them. Since B-Ionic, no calcium buildup, at least not compared to bulk resupply. So I still dunk the spin streams and the Vortec in vinegar every 2 weeks for a little bit to give them a good cleaning. That's part of my maintenance that I do, and it seems to be working out good, guys. So this has been Ross's Reef. Just want to give you all a quick update. Thanks for all the feedback on my videos, guys. I love to hear all y'all's comments and everything like that. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. We'll be doing constant updates and the progression of this Nuvo Fusion 20-gallon Nano Reef tank. This has been Ross's Reef. I'll see y'all later.